Welcome to Steps Forward with Ricky, a weekly walking podcast helping you take steps forward in your life and your day. It's so funny whenever I meet someone and they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I have a podcast." I literally do that pitch because they're like, "What's it about?" I'm like, Steps Forward with Ricky is a weekly walking podcast helping people take steps forward in their life and their day. And I just feel like I'm a robot, like a marketing walking robot. Anyways, welcome to Steps Forward with Ricky. This is a weekly walking podcast. I want you to walk as you listen. This is a great opportunity for you to get your steps in, stop scrolling, and just put one foot in front of the other. Obviously, I'm back in the studio because we know now that the podcast just doesn't operate very well unless I'm in the studio. And I hate that I've been inconsistent with the podcast, and I've made a commitment to myself that we are going to do this. This is the place where I feel most comfortable being vulnerable. And I was thinking about why. I was thinking about why it is so easy for me to come here and to share from my heart and to share openly and vulnerably, and why I feel different when I'm making an Instagram post or doing something else. I also feel the way I feel about my podcast is also how I feel on stage. I feel very raw and vulnerable. And this is what I came up with. When I'm podcasting, I am speaking so authentically and so openly and so in the moment that I don't have a moment of time to doubt myself. I don't press play and then press publish and wait for how many likes I get or wait for how many comments I get. I'm genuinely here to express myself. And when I'm on stage and I'm sharing from the heart, I am genuinely there to express myself. But there's this disconnect with social media that I feel sometimes, and maybe you can relate to this. I feel like I'm creating something and I'm forcing something. And because my body is so designed for like dopamine, it's like when I create something and I put it out there right away, I need to see the results for me to feel like it's worthy that I put it out there. But with my podcast and when I'm on stage, I just feel. I feel so genuine and so authentic. I don't need somebody else around me to validate what I'm saying. I just want to speak freely and openly. And I know that my podcast is one of the rare places in my life where I feel called to do that, which is why I haven't walked away from my podcast. Because even though I've been inconsistent, even though I've taken steps backwards from it, it's not something that I'm ever going to walk away from because I know that it's an anchor for me. And if you think about the things in your life and what things are anchors for you, sometimes we walk away from our anchor for a little bit. Sometimes we feel like our anchor can't hold us. Sometimes we feel like we're drowning. But we can always go back to the things that make us feel better, whether it's the podcast or the gym or you're cleaning up your space and making it a place that you love. It's like find your anchor and go back to it. Let it anchor you in. So, welcome to the podcast. I want to talk about something that's been on my mind. I've been having these flashbacks of when I was running my business, Walking Away from Weed. If you're new here, I had a business called Walking Away from Weed. I've helped thousands of people walk away from weed addiction on TikTok, on my program, on my podcast. And I was like the definition of girl boss. I was literally crushing it, making so much money and just feeling so aligned and just creating like 6 to 8 videos a day, like doing all these amazing things and helping thousands of people walk away from weed addiction. And then I got burnt out. And I don't know that I actually got burnt out. I moved forward. Like it was like this story wasn't resonating with me anymore. It didn't feel like a sustainable business for me. It didn't feel like this is the thing that I want to talk about for the next 5 years. And so after almost 2 years of it, I just was like, okay, I'm ready to move forward, which was a whole process in itself. But lately, because I'm in this in-between space, which happens to be something that I go through every few years, it's like this awakening, but you're not quite awake yet, so you're in the midst of it. And because I'm in the midst of this awakening, I keep thinking about that version of me. And I keep having these moments of like, I wish I could go back. I wish I felt that passionate about something the way that I was so lost in my business in a good way. And the way that it brought me so much purpose and so much direction. I miss that so much. And when we miss old parts of ourselves, even though we've outgrown them, the relationship, the body, the whatever it is, we yearn for old parts of ourselves and we're almost grieving parts of ourselves. And I don't know that I really realized that I've been grieving that part of myself because I've also had a lot of guilt and a lot of shame for walking away from something that worked. And at the same time, didn't really work because I was amped up on so much medication and I was lonely and my whole life was wrapped up in my business. Now, I'm a business girl. I love purpose. I love working hard. So I didn't mind that. But when the story started to change for me and when I started to feel misaligned with my business, I realized I had nothing else for me in my life at that time. But I've been thinking about this because I'm like, wow, I miss that girl. And maybe you're like, wow, I miss that version of me. It's not really that I miss that person. I really don't. That person was kind of insane, like super inspirational, super motivational, super helpful, but also a little crazy by how much medication I was on and just the speed of which I was operating. But I miss that feeling of being immersed in something. Like that was the first time, besides my podcast that I had created months before the Walking Away from Weed program, like that was the first time in so long that I felt like I have something I can throw all of my energy into, and I miss it. And because when you miss something, you think that you should go back to it. And so instead of walking away from weed, I stayed in it for a very long time, probably a year too long because I missed it. I was like, well, I want to recreate what I felt in the beginning. I want to go back to what it was in the beginning. You cannot go back. You have to keep moving forward. You cannot go back to an outdated version of yourself. There is no back. There is no let me go back. There's just a let me remember who this person was. And when I think about the bigger picture of who that Ricky was, she was driven by purpose. And Ricky without purpose is driven by fear. That is something I don't think I've ever said out loud before. Because I don't know that I've ever really thought of it like that. Like, that's so fucking true. For me, so true for me. Without purpose, I am in fear. Fear of who I am, of what I could be, of where I'm going. It's like all that energy that I throw into a project or I throw into a situation gets thrown back at Ricky, at me. And then I'm full of fear and overwhelm and confusion, and that brings me out of alignment. Everybody needs purpose, and purpose is different at different points in your life. Like, let me give you an example. This time last year, my purpose wasn't to make money. I was doing things to make money, but it wasn't like I need to build this business. I need to do this thing. My purpose last year was to heal from being off Adderall and to build community. And I believed that at the time that was what I needed. So my purpose was different. Your purpose changes as you change, as life changes. It evolves, it changes. It could be your purpose right now. It could be being a stay-at-home mom. It could be being in love. It could be just being a more organized person. It could be your business. It could be your body, right? These are purposes. The problem is when you don't feel like you have a purpose. And this is when you can create purpose. It doesn't need to be the end all be all. Like right now, I'm creating purpose by showing up for my podcast because I love my podcast. I'm just getting in my own way. That's a purpose for me. It's a purpose to come to the studio and to put this out there and to take all the fear and all the overwhelm and throw it into an episode because that's where I evolve and that's where I process the most. But I don't want to live my life missing old versions of myself. Everything is romanticized. It was like so much better in my brain. And then there's the part of me that has guilt and shame. Like when someone meets me now and I'm like, oh, they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm in the process of figuring things out. I do speaking, I do podcasting. I used to do coaching. I find myself always saying like, I used to do this. Just so they know that I'm successful or that I'm a girl boss or that like I have ambition and I have drive. Like I used to do this. I used to help thousands walk away from weed addiction. I used to have this amazing business. I used to be a top 100 podcast. It's like, why are you so ashamed of who you've become, of who you are now? When did it stop being enough? Now, don't get me wrong. I want to speak on stages and I want to grow my podcast back up. And I want to one day potentially coach people and mentor people, whether it's in life or in business, but I'm not doing it right now. And I think that's okay. I think it creates more resistance when you resist the present. Like I'm fighting against the current. I'm remembering Ricky as the girl boss, but I'm forgetting Ricky as I am now, who is, by the way, way fucking better than Ricky the girl boss, because at least I have community and I have more love in my life, and I'm calmer and I'm gentler. And I think that's also the challenging part, is like when you become this version of yourself, you're like, well, okay, so now I'm this version of myself, and now I want to make all the money and do all the things. And okay, can I just go back? Can I just go back? No, you cannot fucking go back. You can't recreate what has already been created. It's done. You can create again. You can create something new, right? Like my podcast is different now because I'm different. I'm not going to pretend to do what I did the first 20 episodes. I'm going to take parts of it for sure, but the podcast will evolve as I evolve. And I think I've always had a really hard time with letting go of things. I mean, I was smoking weed for 15 years. I was on Adderall for 28. I stayed in a relationship too long. I was living in Michigan too long. I mean, I have a history of staying too long to make the story that's not working work. And then I reach a point where I'm like, fuck, I cannot do this anymore. So I'm going to stop wishing for the person I used to be. I'm going to embrace who I am and know that I've been in this position a million times, and I've always come out with a better idea or a better business or a better project or a better version of myself. And so have you. It's okay if you want to get the body back that you used to have. It's okay if you want the things that you used to have. That's okay. But to live your life in the past, what will you do? How will you create your future? So just a reminder that it's okay to want the things that you used to have, but want them as the person you are now. And don't keep going back, because in reality, it is all about taking a step forward.